Hi, my name is Matthew and welcome to FabLab Fundamentals. Today I'll be showing you how to use our Prusa XL 3D printer. So first things first is we're just gonna pull out the USB drive from the right area and go to your computer with the Prusa slicer. Before you leave, please make sure to save for your first layer. In addition, please make sure to follow all FabLab rules and protocols or else we have the right to remove your access from using FabLab equipment such as our Prusa XL. So now that we're at a computer with the Prusa slicer, we're just gonna plug in our USB drive. And then we can just close up this pop-up. And then we're just going to open up the Prusa slicer. And then we can just press cancel. From here, we're just gonna make sure that this is a Prusa XL build plate. So to do that, we're gonna go over to this top right corner and we're just gonna select. And then you can see right here now, we have the original Prusa XL 0.4 nozzle selected. So we're good to go. From here, we are going to press this button in the top left corner. And then we can select our STL file. And for us, our STL file is in the downloads folder, but you can import your STL from Google Drive or a flash drive. From here, this is our STL piece and you can move it around and you can increase the scaling, make it bigger, smaller. But for us, this is a good size. And then from here, we can either look at supports if we need any supports or infill density or if we need a brim. But since our piece is flat, we do not need any supports. And then from here, we're just gonna select Slice Now. And then we're just going to export our G-code. And then we're going to select the Prusa flash drive. And we're just gonna press save. And if a pop-up appears, you can just press OK. And then we're gonna select this eject button. Now we can pull out our flash drive and walk over to our printer. So now that we have walked over to our Prusa XL printer, we're just gonna plug in our flash drive on the right side. And it should prompt up with the most recent downloaded file. If not, then we can just press back. We're gonna go over to print. And then we can look for the name of our file. From here, we're just gonna press continue. And then on this screen shows all the spool settings for the 3D printer. So right now, we're gonna use PLA, and this corresponds to nozzle head 1 or spool 1 of the 3D printer. And from here, we're just gonna wanna double check that there is PLA in nozzle head 1. So you can see that we have pink PLA going through nozzle head 1. And you can tell this is 1 because there's a missing slot. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we can look over back at our screen. And in case filament 1 runs out, we can do a cool setting and we can actually link the spools together. So we're going to do that by pressing PLA. And then we're going to go over to spool 4. And then we're going to select spool join. And as you can see, there's a line that goes from 1 through 4, which means if spool 1 runs out, then it'll start using spool 4. But for us, since our print is small, we're just going to use spool 1. So we're going to go back up to PLA. And then we're going to select spool 4. And then we're just going to remove it. Now we are ready to print. So we can go over to the print button and select print. And the 3D printer will start printing our part. However, as a general rule for the FabLab, please wait for the first layer to finish before you leave. So now that the print has finished, we can double check by looking on the screen and we can see that it's 100% and there's a green LED glow. From here, we're going to lift up the build plate by holding these two tab areas and pulling it up. It is magnetic, so you have to use some force. and then you can see our piece. And make sure you do not touch the build plate because our hands has oil and we don't want to mess up the build plate. So now we're going to put the build plate back in the same orientation as before, and we're just going to push it back until it hits these two knobs, and we're just gonna set it down. So now we have our 3D printed piece, and that's how you use the Prusa XL 3D printer. Thank you.